10 signs that you are poor. Hey there, guys. Today we'll be talking about why you're poor. For example, you might earn a reasonable amount and live way above the poverty line, but still end up living from paycheck to paycheck, as you tend to be broke the end of each month. Anyway, so here are 10 things that are likely to be the reason as to why you're still poor. This is Wealthy Fact, where you come to watch, implement, and get wealthy. Please make sure to subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up if you like our content. Number 1. Lack of interest. You never dedicated time and energy to improve your financial state. It all starts with you. If you aren't interested in improving your financial state, then it sure wouldn't happen by any miracle. The main reason that you're poor, regardless of working hard all your life, albeit a bit aimlessly, is because you never took any interest in becoming financially independent. To overcome your current financial state, you might have had to learn new things, picked up new habits, and even changed your lifestyle. It's possible that you never took any necessary steps and decided to continue living like you do. The world is your oyster. You can achieve anything you want in life because you have the ability and opportunity to do so. So put some faith in yourself that you can overcome any obstacles. After that, work with dedication towards your set goals, and you will surely succeed. If you're not doing this, this may be a clear sign that you are poor, no matter what you believe. Number 2. Debts. You are trapped under payments. Debts, bills, and credit card expenses are a source of dread and anxiety. The interest rate forms a vicious cycle that keeps you trapped. You might wish to avoid these at all costs. For example, your student loan or mortgage might be the reason as to why you're still poor. If you ignored the payment notices, then in no time, the bills will have doubled in amount. So please avoid doing this. Get out there, make money, and start getting your debt under control, just one small step at a time. If you absolutely need some form of aid, look for other options that don't require getting a loan. For example, rather than getting a student loan, you can opt for programs that will help you get lower payments and forgiveness. For this, you will have to seek out programs and put in much work, but it's worlds better than getting into debt. One obvious example of this would be a scholarship. But then again, a loan doesn't always mean the end of the world. Just make sure to map out how you intend to pay them off and try your best to stick to it day in and day out. Number 3. Emergency fund. You don't save up and get stuck with new debt. Founder of GoodFinancialSense.com, Jeff Rose, listed not having any savings for an emergency as one of the 4 ways people tend to hurt themselves financially. What happens is that people don't dedicate a percentage of their income to a savings account, and so they have no cash whatsoever when disaster falls. They end up taking a loan or using the credit card, so more payments get added to the previous debt and they remain poor. Number 4. Saving. You aren't making saving your priority. Setting aside a few dollars for the future is extremely important. The saved up cash will assist you after retirement. If you work all your life and still have to work for cash when you're old, then it's safe to say that you made little effort or were just unfortunately incredibly unlucky. In case you'd saved up during your golden years, you really wouldn't have to remain poor by the time you grew old. Living below your means and focusing more on saving will help with all the things in life. The ultimate goal shouldn't be to look rich, instead to live comfortably with a reliable income to support you. Make sure to keep your savings separate from the emergency fund and debt payment. This fund will be an independent investment for your future and will come in handy when you're old or want to invest your savings into a profitable business. Number 5. Course correction. You don't manage your finances well. According to Donna Friedman, who is a personal finance expert, one major thing that keeps people within the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle is the fact that they don't budget. So the fact that you tend to spend money on unnecessary things instead of where it might bring about real good is one of the reasons why you're poor. All the little chunks of money that you waste here and there can be used to save up for an emergency fund, pay your mortgage and debt, or even invest. Plus, finding cost-effective alternatives to course-correct your finances is a great way to have more cash at the end of the month. For example, renegotiating the insurance rates, opting for banks that offer better deals, and planning vacations with agencies that provide affordable deals are just some ways to manage your finances better. Number 6. Planning. You don't plan your finances beforehand. Another significant reason that you're poor is that you have no plan whatsoever. Assuming that you will have money left behind at the end of the month isn't planning. If you aren't planning, then you'll have no idea where to place the money for the best profit. If you aren't aware of extra fees, then you'll have no idea where your money is going and are likely to remain poor. Planning is essential as it helps you keep track of due dates, deposits, and withdrawals, so you're well aware where you stand financially. It isn't about having enough money to be able to withstand all the expenditure, but having a money plan and being always a step ahead of your bank account. Plus, you need to work on your bad spending habits, as it's the little things that ruin the budget. Number 7. Have it all. You don't stick to a budget and want too many things too soon. This is something that we often see happening to college grads. They go from living on peanuts to having a stable income. Their new income still isn't enough to buy a house, car, and pay for an extravagant night out. So they end up using their credit card to purchase all these luxuries. This way, they cripple their future finance with debit payments. Even though having a budget is one of the essential things that people should master, they simply don't. When you don't have a set budget to guide them, they end up spending more than they should. What a budget does is that it assists you in figuring out your money problems and what can be done to overcome these issues. With the help of a clear-cut budget, you can select some luxuries that you want and leave the rest for future endeavors. Number 8. Assets. You waste your money on depreciating assets. You've likely seen people use their hard-earned cash on accumulating depreciating assets, such as TVs, boats, and cars. These assets aren't resources for building wealth, thus they shouldn't be a priority. If you have the latest car and a huge house but continue to live paycheck to paycheck, then there's no surprise as to why you're still poor. The question which now arises is, how can you fix this issue? Well, the answer to that is simple. You need to divert your attention towards appreciating assets, such as real estate and stocks. Long-term, these assets are likely to grow in value. With such valuable resources at your disposal, you're not likely to have to live in poverty anymore. Number 9. Lack of opportunity. Your surrounding doesn't support your growth. Unfortunately, many of us are born and raised in poverty. The result is that we never learn how to make money and strike for opportunities. When information about such vital things is scarce, there isn't much room for growth and improvement. For example, in third world countries, benefits like internet access, free education, research, and a stable market are rare. Thus, those living under such circumstances hardly get to live life to the fullest. They don't get to learn much about money because of the environment they live in. Someone that exists in such settings is likely to remain poor all his life. This still doesn't mean that they shouldn't strive for financial freedom. The law of attraction states that your experiences in life are directly related to your thoughts or beliefs. If you keep focusing on your negative thoughts, you will come across only failure. Regardless of whatever environment you're brought up in, you shouldn't let that define you. History is full of legends like Oprah Winfrey and Ralph Lauren, who were born in poor families but worked hard and defied all odds. Number 10. Sacrifice. You are unwilling to sacrifice. The number one reason why people end up in some kind of financial hardship or remain poor their entire life, it's because of their destructive behaviors. A person needs to change his actions for him to have a win, and the majority of people aren't ready to make that sacrifice. They tend to spend more time than they make, show no interest in learning more about the market, and don't manage their finances properly. All these destructive behaviors lead them to remaining poor all their lives. Once you understand where the problem lies and you still do nothing about it, then it's apparent that you are comfortable in your old ways and are not ready to make any solid sacrifice to bring about change. Conclusions. The bottom line is that instead of displaying signs of the poor, try to spend within your limits and create a financial breathing space so that you don't have to remain poor for the rest of your life. The task of overcoming your shortcomings that are holding you back might seem daunting at first, but if you're really desperate and fully dedicate your time and energy, nothing can stop you. Well, now it's time to sign off, but let me leave you with these golden words by Bill Gates. If you're born poor, it's not your mistake. But if you die poor, it's your mistake. So make sure to step outside your comfort zone and face head-on all the things holding you back.